Let's see, can
It's upcoming.
it's upcoming. Okay, let's hit go live. Let's see what happens. Is it now? Does it now show up?
I'm checking.
There we are.
Yeah.
Yep, it's
Let's see,
here.
can-
So it's upcoming.
It's upcoming. Sorry, yeah, I was listening back to the stream just to check. Does the audio sound alright? Does it sound a bit tinny?
Taking a listen to it. Is that my mic? Is my mic an issue? Have you got like an equalizer running by any chance?
Yeah, I've got my I do not know what ID mode on my audio interface does. So maybe that is an equalizer.
It sounds fine, to be honest.
Alright. But yeah, so why don't we... I actually sent... Let me see. Let's get the notes up on this slide. I could even screen share it, to be honest. That makes sense. Let's snap this to the right. Oh. Yeah, so why don't we do 1/2 Firefox, 1/2 this notes. Does it just show like only on half of the screen now, as in the Firefox?
Yeah, whichever.
Yeah, I need to change the way that OBS is screen capturing it. Let's... Oh yes, I could capture... Oh great, I'm capturing the wrong thing here. Let's make sure that I don't end up just capturing some random window.
Surprisingly, your OBS audio sounds way better than the Discord audio.
Yeah, that's probably because, you know, Discord compression and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's... Yeah, I think my mic's actually pretty decent.
Are you using the right mic on Discord by any chance?
Yeah, I think I am.
Oh, that's very strange because on the call it's so like.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not. Is that better?
Wait, you're not using the right mic?
No. I was using my headphone mic.
That makes sense. Yeah, it sounds so much better now.
Yeah, I was using some wireless headphone mic. Alright.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for some reason it defaults through to that, so I forgot to change that. Yeah, so I need to get... Okay, I think I know how I'm doing this. So I'm gonna get this side. Will this side show up now? Let's close down that. Let's open it back up. Let's go for, not Discord, let's go for Firefox. Where is that? Come on, Firefox. There we are. Then Firefox. Let's show Firefox, why don't we? Snap it to the left with this notes editor. So I may as well capture both of them, and then I'll just because that makes sense. And then
yeah, we see Firefox. Give me a second. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. Is that okay?
Okay. For some reason, my notes app doesn't want to be captured.
What app do you use?
Joplin. it's like markdown thing.
I'm looking it up now. Could you send a link to it?
I think it's a fairly well-known markdown editor. I'll send it here. In fact, I'll even pull it up on the screen for everybody.
Oh.
Joplin app. Oh yeah, because this is a vanilla Firefox thing. It's going to use Joplin. Not Joplin. What am I talking about? Google Chrome. Not Chrome. Google Search. That was a slip up there.
Similar to Notion.
It's like offline. It's open source and stuff as well, so it's good.
So better than Notion.
Well, it's a bit of a different thing. It's mainly for like personal note taking. I know that back when we used to do the library community podcast, Lex used, I think it's Obsidian. So
yeah,
he liked that, but personally I use Joplin.
Yeah, Obsidian is closed source.
That's one thing with Obsidian. And also,
but it is really great though.
It is it's a bit like there's a lot of features in there which I don't really need. Oh, there we are. There it is. There is the glorious notes editor. Now let's take this to the side. Let's snap one. Oh, did not mean to do that. Snap one to the left.
No, I just use Visual Studio Code to view Markdown right now.
Yeah, but yeah, so does this work? Can you see the two windows side by side?
Yes.
Yes, that's a good sign, Yeah, so now let's actually get on with some stuff, maybe. First, I need to paste in the notes. That would be helpful. I had it on a different device, so I just sent it to myself from Discord. Actually, I sent it to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Said, here are the notes. Quite helpful to me. You can take a look at them before anybody else does.
Yeah. I opened it in Visual Studio Code.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes I open stuff in like VS Code or VS Codium if you want to use that button.
Yeah, but I have a lot of trouble with the extensions with Codium.
Yeah, that's the problem with VS Codium, but some extensions work. But anyway, so here are the notes. So we've got some stuff on crypto, some desktop news, and a bit of phone news. So that's good. Now let's close this application's website. Why don't we go in to maybe covering the first story? So Microsoft is shutting down Cortana on Windows for good. So with the latest version of Windows 11 Insider, they've taken out Cortana, and Microsoft has actually said on a support page that starting August 2023, that they will no longer support Cortana in Windows as a standalone app. So we of course knew that this was coming because Microsoft had been saying that they wanted to get rid of Cortana. However, it's much sooner than some people might have expected. But with the AI, the OpenAI stuff, with the Bing AI stuff, it makes a lot of sense to get rid of Cortana, given that not that many people used it, and the AI assistant will probably be way better. But yeah, did you ever use Cortana? Anybody?
No,
No. Well,
I know I did not use it.
well, yeah. I think it started in like Windows 8. It wasn't it Windows Phone 8.1 the first time that Cortana was featured.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been around for a bit now. It's one of the older, you know, voice assistants.
Oh.
But it was never a popular voice assistant.
Uh,
And people use Google Assistant way more. People used Alexa way more. So, especially with the new, all of the new AI stuff, and Microsoft actually announcing Windows Copilot. It's kind of obvious that that Microsoft would eventually seek to get rid of Cortana. And yeah, I don't think that many people will miss Cortana, will they?
no,
But yeah.
probably not. No.
No. Apart from making clippy jokes, that was kind of not a feature of other AIs. Not AIs
Yeah.
even. Just voice assistants. Kind of AI. Anyway, moving on to a Linux story. The Linux story of this week's show. Linux has surpassed Mac among Steam gamers, according to July's Steam user hardware survey. So apparently, according to this survey, Windows still accounted for around 96.21% of users' systems. And Linux managed 1.96%, and macOS only accounted for 1.84%. So, yeah, so of course, neither Linux nor macOS seem to account for, that much of, the Steam hardware kind of base. So because people often game on Windows, and gaming on Windows is like, Windows is the biggest platform for gaming on desktop by far. Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me that 96.21% of user systems are running Windows, when using Steam. But yeah, but Linux has managed to surpass macOS, so that's cool, I guess. What do you think, Pigus? Hello?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's obvious. A big part of it is probably the Steam Deck release.
Yeah. Yeah, the Steam Deck has been quite popular, so...
Yeah, because if you see the distros on the survey, you see that Arch is the one on the top
Oh,
on
really?
Linux there.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Although Ubuntu isn't so far off.
Uh-huh. I would think that Ubuntu would be like, number one on it, but Arch, interesting.
Yeah, but it's because of the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Yeah, the Steam Deck. Oh, I wonder what's the most popular Mac right now for MacBook Pro. Okay. Oh wait, no. What is that? Yeah, it is MacBook Pro. Okay. But yeah, so of course the Steam hardware and software survey is always quite interesting to look at for seeing what gamers are using when it comes to the hardware. Can you opt out of the Steam hardware survey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I typically do that.
Yeah. I imagine that there'll be more Linux users opting out of the Steam hardware survey than most distros.
Maybe.
Yeah, because the most operating systems, because when you think about it, more privacy conscious people are more likely to opt out of like hardware surveys and stuff. And there were more privacy focused people on Linux. So maybe. Who knows? Although that wouldn't account for that many people, I don't think. Anyway, why don't we move on to... Unless you want to say anything else about that?
No.
Okay. Why don't we move on to a story to do with crypto. So we're getting on to some of the crypto stories here. Some stuff that's, come into the news recently. So Kenya has suspended WorldCoin. WorldCoin, it's been... it's a crypto project which was launched by Sam Altman, and it's meant. Isn't it meant to scan your like iris or whatever? What's the idea? Again.
I think it was a while ago I read about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was something about
scanning your iris to like get like a unique identifier to allow you to show that you're human. But the government of Kenya, the Communications Authority of Kenya, seem to not be a big fan of WorldCoin, since they said it has a lack of clarity on security and storage of the iris data being collected. And also they say there's uncertainty around the cryptocurrency. Of course, getting people to scan their irises for cryptocurrency, it does sound like something that would raise some red flags, especially for regulators. Yeah, so this isn't surprising, and I don't know what the government of Kenya's previous stances on crypto have been, but I'm guessing they might not be a big fan of this eyeball scanning crypto project. So but of course they do what they called again. WorldCoin do maintain that they do delete, they don't store the iris data and your biometric data, and that it doesn't actually leave the orb. So of course, if that is true, it will be more secure than if it went to their company servers. However, there are still, of course, security concerns when it comes to scanning people's irises. Yeah, very sensitive data. Oh, yeah. And also, that there is some abuse that can go on with that when it comes to, trying to scan people's irises to get their data and then get more quote. But but anyway, it'll be interesting to see where that project goes, and But I will make sure to include a story that you, Pigus, suggested. I just don't have it in my notes right now. If you could provide a link to it, that would be great. Much appreciated. But so the next story is... I've accidentally jumped a story here. But the next story that we're going to be covering, I guess, is that the Bank of Russia... This is kind of crypto-related. The Bank of Russia has started digital ruble operations. And they're offering free transactions until 2025. So, of course, we've been hearing, there's been a lot about, CBDCs, for, quite a while in the crypto space, people talking about them. However, it's interesting to see another country launch one. So China previously launched one, but now Russia is launching one. So right now, not that many countries have a digital central bank currency, but Russia are adding their name to that list, I guess. Of course, there are all the concerns that people have to do with a central bank actually doing a digital currency and what that could entail for privacy. Because now with these new central bank currencies, because they're digital, you can, of course, track the transactions, all the transactions, and exactly where you bought everything. So, some people aren't a fan of that. But yeah, interesting to see another government launch a central bank digital currency. What do you think, Pickers?
I wasn't listening.
Oh, we're talking about
Yeah.
the Russian, I think it's, what's the name of them again? The Bank of Russia launching a digital ruble. So CBDC. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Not really. I'm not really a fan of all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's not.
Right.
I think, of course, with a government like Russia's, people are concerned about what
Yeah.
about what they might like, what they could do with this when it comes to potentially silencing people they don't like So yeah, of course, these central bank digital currencies could be used to kind of oppress people. So that is something that people are concerned about. However, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. I'm pretty sure we'll find out eventually what the Bank of Russia and other banks do with these digital currencies, whether they use them to try and freeze people's accounts for going against the government or something, and what happens in general when it comes to that. But yeah, of course, interestingly, all of the governments that have launched these central bank digital currencies so far are all seem to all, unless I haven't really been keeping up with all of them, but the two big ones that I've heard about with more recently, China and Russia, are both kind of autocratic regimes. So they try and kind of control their citizens. So that is one aspect of this. Anyway, why don't we, unless anybody wants to say anything? Okay, let's talk about Revolut, a bank which operates in a number of countries, suspending crypto crypto operations in the US, citing regulatory uncertainty. So Revolut are a British bank, so they are a bank that operates here in Britain as well as the US and a number of European countries, and they're a mobile bank primarily, and they they do crypto, they do normal banking stuff, they do all sorts of stuff. But they have announced that they are actually suspending all crypto services in the US. So, of course, with the SEC's crackdown on crypto, more crypto-related businesses have decided to pull out of the US. And yeah, of course, because Revolut are a British company, they can pull out of the US, and that isn't their primary market when it comes to crypto. So, and also crypto isn't their primary, I guess, market. So they can pull out of the US without totally, giving up their business. So yeah. So of course, Revolut are primarily a bank dealing in fiat currency. So they also do, of course, this crypto. However, that isn't their primary focus. So it's suspended trading of these cryptocurrencies, and it makes sense because the SEC's crackdowns on crypto have, with them suing a number of crypto firms, including Binance and Coinbase. They clearly just don't want to be in the space. They don't want to, in the US, they don't want to risk being sued by the SEC. So it might make business sense for them to pull out of the market before they get into any sort of regulatory trouble. But yeah, what do you think, Pigus? Since you're the one person here.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the US right now.
Yeah, when it comes to crypto, the US, the SEC really have been, kind of cracking down, and I'm not a fan of that kind of just trying to shut down all cryptocurrency kind of companies and just suing them for existing. So yeah. But yeah, so maybe is this? Oh, I was just about to say on a lighter note, but sadly, there's not really that many light stories today. Sadly, but we'll move on to the story that Piggis maybe can talk a bit about, but they linked it here. In fact, what am I even doing? Have I actually been opening it in a different browser? I'm very. Alright, I'll open it up in the web browser you can see on stream. Sorry about that, everybody. Who's watching, if anybody's watching. Or anybody who's watching afterwards, because, yeah. But anyway, why don't we talk about Google's Web Integrity API. So this is Google's new proposed DRM for the internet. So this article is labeling it as a nightmare, and right now it's just a proposal, and it's being prototyped inside of Chrome. However, people are getting quite angry about this new proposed idea. So I know that I actually haven't really been paying much attention to this story. I watched a short video by Mental Outlaw about it. But do you know anything more about it, Pigus?
Yeah, I just watched 2 videos before this stream.
Any creators you want to shout out here that you were watching? Or do you not?
Yeah, Brody Robertson made 2 videos about it.
Oh, Brody Roberts. Oh, yeah. He has a good, isn't it a Linux related channel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's on YouTube and Odysee, so you can check him out. But anyway, continue what you're saying.
So apparently, Brave, Vivaldi, and Mozilla have sent a response to this, and they do not like it.
Yeah,
They are like,
But yeah, so people are saying this is going to be like kind of DRM for the internet, and of course DRM has not been good for kind of software freedom historically. So um,
yeah,
so I actually do not fully understand what this proposal actually is when it comes to what are they actually trying to implement here? Do you know?
they're gonna make sure like advertisements. They make sure you are going to be able to see them.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're browser compatible, you will see the page with the ads. Otherwise, you won't get the page at all.
Yes, so it's effectively like the ultimate ad block killer.
Yeah.
Um, it's literally like Google's kind of trying to get rid of ad block for the last 10 years. Um, but yeah,
It's essentially a way for the web server to trust the client.
yeah, yeah. So basically, you won't be able to block ads because your web browser will make sure that you definitely are seeing the adverts, and if you aren't, then the server won't basically it won't supply you the content, will it? So you'll be
Yeah.
stuck. So this would be a pretty bad feature to be on the web. It would definitely kind of be kind of destroy the open internet. So that'd be pretty bad.
Have you seen the issues on this repository?
Oh boy. Let's see some of these issues. Why don't we look? Why don't we look on the how many issues are there? Oh, 45. Proposal to go back to 90s web standards. Yeah, people putting a lot of issues in here.
Yeah.
A lot of concerns that people seem to have. And yes, I hope that Google have a good time looking through these. Yes, and make sure to address each one as they come in.
Yeah, I just look at all the closed ones.
Yeah. Yeah, so in fact, we could even take a look at some of the. Actually, maybe we shouldn't. Who knows what's going to be on these? But I actually have not read all of these, so I do not know. This is horrid. Oh, do not do this. Well, this guy seems to know. This guy seems to, want to send Google a message here. Just saying that this is terrible, man. But yeah. Keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
What? Oh, whoa. Well, anyway. But yeah, so there's a lot of issues here. And yeah, so people seem to not be that happy about this new proposal from Google. And hopefully, my hope is that Google do not go ahead with this, and it becomes another one of the Google scrapped projects that hopefully it goes to the graveyard of killed by Google, which we can see on the voice chat. But yeah, so hopefully we see it dead. Let's hope that Google just decide, you know what, we're gonna be so unpopular. Why don't we just not do this? Because yeah. And also, yeah, this is just gonna be very unpopular with everybody, I think. So I can't imagine Google being able to do this without anybody complaining.
Yeah, but they have the market share, so.
Yeah, and also they do give all the money to Mozilla. Is Mozilla still have that deal with Google, don't they? You know where
Yeah,
Mozilla.
isn't that the reason why they still have Google as the main search
Yeah,
engine?
yeah. But the thing is, they're kind of surviving on Google's money, so
Yeah.
So that's dangerous. They could basically just pull the plug. Goodbye, half of Mozilla staff, I'm guessing. So yeah,
Mozilla said they were not going to implement this feature.
oh well, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, this might be one of the biggest kind of maybe disputes between Mozilla and Google potentially. Because if they don't implement this, people might get kind of mad, as in not people. Google will get kind of mad. So of course, because Google gives so much money to Mozilla in the search engine deal, whether they just decide, you know what, we don't need you to make us the default search engine, we aren't going to give you any money anymore, goodbye. That would be a bad scenario. But yeah, I wouldn't rule it out of the realm of possibility. So yeah, so overall, I did say on a lighter note, however, that's not a light note, is it? Anyway. Why don't we move on to the phone news? So another bad story, I know. So Apple are seem to be trying to sidestep EU removable battery requirements by making it a little bit removable. You know, you can remove it if you try. So Apple SVP for hardware engineering, John Turnus, I'm going to go with that, said on the German YouTube channel Orbit, you can, quote, you can make a component more maintainable by making it discrete and removable, and that actually adds a potential point of failure. Using the data, we can understand which parts of the phone need to be repaired and which parts are actually better made, so reliable that they don't need to be repaired. It's all a kind of balance. It's always a kind of balance. So basically, it appears that Apple are going to basically make the iPhone battery kind of a bit more repairable. So maybe you'll be able to do it yourself, hopefully, but it wouldn't be as easy as an easily removable battery like exists on the Fairphone. And, like existed on old phones, during the kind of, the previous era before smartphone, in fact, early smartphone era. Because, there used to be removable batteries on early smartphones. However, Apple were one of the main kind of drivers to get rid of it. So yeah. Yeah, what do you think about this? Do you think it's, do you think this is a bad news? Do you think... I think more companies might actually try and basically not actually make removable batteries for their phones and instead just make it a bit more repairable. So maybe, so the EU... So they don't get in trouble with the EU... but they can still, charge for their batteries, at quite, do whatever they want with their batteries, and still, get people buying new phones when their battery is broken, because they're like, oh no, I don't really know how to fix my own, I don't really know how to replace my battery, so, I'm gonna go to Apple and get a new phone. So maybe that might happen. So overall, this isn't a good story. And, I hope to see more removable batteries. Hopefully on the Android side, some manufacturers kind of step up and actually do it, and actually provide removable batteries and allow the users to have that choice. But
Yeah.
I think it might, we might see quite a few manufacturers deciding that they can just keep kind of removable batteries in their smartphones. So yeah, so what do you think, Pierce?
I think it's better if like EU would put more harsh rules on it.
Yeah, yeah. I hope the EU put kind of more. Yeah, it would be good if they put more
Because
harsh.
yeah, because the manufacturers are always going to find a solution around it.
Yeah. So yeah, so if they actually,
Mm.
kind of clamped down hard on them and said, basically, if they just said, you can't, basically, you can't, try and sidestep this regulation. You need to make it easily removable and set out what that means, in regulation. Then that would be good. And also, if more countries put out such regulation, maybe that would, make sure that companies that make batteries removable in their phones, because for a long time they've just avoided having to do it,
Yeah,
and only if you bought a very special, kind of a kind of specialty phone like a Fairphone, you could actually remove your battery.
yeah,
However, it's such a kind of the Fairphone is quite expensive for the specs, and not that many people are, of course, going to buy them. And of course, they do have some other stuff, going for them, like how they try and be a bit more ethical with the way they build their phones using fair trade gold, for example, with the new Fairphone 4, or semi-new. I don't know how long ago that was again that they released it. But yeah, but it would be good if just regular smartphone manufacturers just made phones with removable batteries with more repairable parts. And yeah, that's just my general thoughts on it. But yeah, why don't we move on to the last story? This is a story which I've actually been thinking, is the OnePlus Nord 3 coming to the UK? So this is one for our UK, I guess, listeners, watchers. Who knows whether you're listening to it or this podcast, or actually watching the stream. But that doesn't matter. But yeah, so I've been wondering for quite a while if the OnePlus Nord 3 was going to come to the UK, and it's finally actually coming to the UK, but there'll be limited supply. And yeah, so they already launched this phone in the EU, but sadly, because the UK is not in the EU anymore, we've had to wait for this phone. But now OnePlus has said that the first batch is being released to the UK. However, there's quite limited stock, but they will make sure, they'll make sure to bring, try and get more OnePlus Nord 3s to the UK, and they say that they would like to thank their loyal community for their patience while they solve the fulfillment challenges. So, of course, the OnePlus Nord series is the kind of budget line of OnePlus. So, a lot of people, I think, bought. I personally actually bought the original Nord, but I think it's a decently popular line of phones. And yeah, it does have quite good specs for the price. So So yeah, so it's good to see it actually come to the UK finally, at least in this limited quantity. But hopefully it comes in. Hopefully you can actually buy it. Hopefully it comes to general availability soon. But yeah, I guess I might see if I can kind of justify getting one maybe at some point. But right now my phone's doing well. So yeah. So unless my phone dies, I'm probably not gonna get a new one. Anyway, Pigus, what do you think? I know it doesn't really involve you.
Yeah,
You live in
it does.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Uh, but yes.
Uh, it's great that you can get the phone in the UK now too.
Yeah, yeah. I actually thought that they might not actually launch it in the UK, because they were quite quiet on it. However, it's good to see them actually, actually announce that they are going to be selling some in the UK. So yeah. Um, so the UK is a decently sized market for phones, so it makes sense for them to bring it here. However, because of UK, customs and stuff, it is different launching it in the UK compared to the EU. So
What is the cost for this phone?
the cost is, I think it's £499 at retail. Um, so that's what it'll launch at in the UK. I do not know the exact euro price. In fact, I think I've got my VPN set to Ireland, so maybe I can find out. Actually, oh wait, no, you live in Sweden, don't you? So it's a Swedish.
Yeah.
Is it krona?
Yes.
Yeah, Swedish krona. So I do not know the exact figure on that. But yeah, so that's roughly around $633. And of course, I don't think they actually launched it in the US. So if you live in the US, you can't actually buy this affordable phone. However, there were other phones, available on the US market, which are more mid-range slash budget. Of course, there's the OnePlus, the one not OnePlus, the Google Pixel A line. So if you aren't in a market where the Nord is available, and you're a OnePlus fan, maybe go for a used phone. Maybe go for an old used OnePlus flagship. Maybe get one shipped in. I don't know the cost of that, depending on your market, obviously. Or you could just go for a different brand of phone, such as maybe a Google Pixel, A line phone. Isn't it has a 6A is the latest, I think. So yeah. But anyway, I think that's it for the news. I think we've covered it.
Yeah.
So that's good. Can you get the OnePlus Nord in Sweden?
I think yeah.
Well, let's find out.
It's a yeah.
Oh god, I spelled Sweden wrong,
DE3.
but I didn't mean to put two E's there. That was a mistake. Okay, so let's. This is the buy thing, isn't it?
I sent a link.
Yeah. Okay, so you can buy the original Nord. You can still buy it. Interesting.
Oh,
I didn't know that. But yeah. But here's the latest Nord. It costs more. It costs some krona. I don't know what the exact conversion is. However, the krona, yeah, it's not easy to compare the krona to any other currency. I mean European currency, because it's like 6,000. What figure even is that? They haven't put a.
Yeah, it's 6,400.
Yeah,
It's
6,490. It's just they've written it
uh,
in. Oh, it's because you guys use don't you guys use like commas sometimes where there's like what do you call it again? There would be a decimal place there, wouldn't there,
yeah,
if it was English? Um, yeah, I always
you
forget that.
switch to them.
Yeah, which countries even do that again? Like
I
which
don't know.
language? Which yeah. Anyway, that's off topic, isn't it? Maybe that's for after. Maybe I'll research that after this show. Anyway, I think we've went off track enough to say that this is the end of the podcast. Thanks for the link though, Pigus. I'll open it up here. The OnePlus Nord C. That's not the same phone, I don't think. Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's a different
No.
phone, aren't they? This is the Nord 3. Oh. Anyway, yeah. So, but of course, somebody on the server was asking about that phone that you just shared. Anyway, but anyway, but yeah. So that's the end of the podcast, I guess, guys. See you. I'm not sure if I can do it next week. I will be able to do it the week after that, so that's good. So see you the week after next, I guess. See ya.